So to carry your items, like I said, you have a knapsack. Another thing you could use is a knapsack. This is basically a haversack with the straps tied like a backpack as opposed to just over the shoulder. Buttons along the front just like a haversack. And speaking of haversacks, you could also have a linen haversack. Again, same shape, just this one goes over your shoulder as opposed to like a backpack. A lot of times you would use this to carry your personal items, food items, anything that you needed immediately, because the other pieces can be discarded if you're going into battle or a long march to hunt the enemy. You don't want to be too encumbered. So you just have a small haversack to keep the absolute essentials with you. And as I talked about earlier, more of the military gaiters. These are painted canvas, help them a little bit be waterproof, and they are buttoned down. So they are a pain to get on and off because you have to button. They're very tight fitting. Whereas the Indian leggings were easier to make, easier to come by, and a lot easier to deal with. Which is why a lot of the soldiers would switch to the native leggings. Green is a very popular color, as well as blue. Red is also popular, especially with the natives, as they regarded red as a very powerful color, which is nice for us because we have red uniforms. This is a sample of the bayonet frog I have here. I actually do make these. This is a standard frog to fit a 1-inch belt. And I also have a larger fire kit. So the fire kit is comprised of char cloth, which is this black cloth here, linen, cotton. They all work very well as a char. Then you also need a striker. So I have a Scottish striker here. It's Scottish by the design, the Celtic style design. And then you need a piece of flint. And this is what you're going to make your fires with. So you'd find a sharp spot on your flint. Again, strike the edge with your striker. And all that does is shave off a little bit of steel, which causes a spark when it hits the air. And then you try to catch the spark with your char cloth. So I gotta find a good sharp corner here. Anyway, that's for a later class. That's my tinder box. So let's see. Let's go through my other kit. Okay. With my knapsack, I have my eating equipment. I have a little bag here, and this is filled with eating essentials. So I have a nice large bowl here. This could be used to mix flour, salt, and water to make ash cakes or ship's biscuits, or used for soup or plate or anything else like that. That's why a nice oversized bowl. I have a tin cup, and this tin cup can be used for obviously drinking. I also have a lid here, like a corn boiler. I can actually boil soup or anything like that. in small quantities for myself. Generally, I'm going to be in a mess of either 6 to 8 other soldiers, and between us we'll have a nice large 5-gallon tin pot, which we can make a soup for all of us. Individually, I would not be carrying that. For me, I have a little spice tin here, just a few spices, some cinnamon, ginger. Ginger is very good in water, helps keep the vitamin C going in you. Some salt, some pepper, some paprika, you know, any kind of spices that you just want to spice up your dish with. It's a nice thing to have. The other thing I have is a leather grip, so, you know, picking up anything hot off the fire, I'm not burning my hands. And then I have a towel here for cleanup. It could also be used as a plate. You just lay it out, lay your food on top, especially if you have cheeses or salted meats or dried fruits or anything like that that's not liquid. It's very good to have. And you don't need a full plate to be carrying around that extra weight. Okay. The other thing I have in here, I'm a sergeant, so I'm going to need a whistle. Call my troops in and out, give them orders through a whistle. May have a magnifying glass. You can use this not just to see closer, but also to build fires. Get that sun, get it nice and hot, and you start a fire with this as opposed to flint and steel. I have a small telescope in case I need to see something farther away. It's only 2 times, but it's nice to have. And a compass. A little compass for reading maps, finding my way around. And I have a small fire kit, just like the larger one I showed you. Just this fits in a smaller space, takes up less weight. I have a non-essential, don't tell the government, but this has a large sewing kit. I think this is the sewing kit. Oh, yes. I have a larger sewing kit with extra needles. I am the company tailor as well as the sergeant, so I want to have a little extra along. I have some playing cards here. Game of drafts or checkers. And a game of Farkle. This is a dice game. You can also play any dice games that you want with the dice. This is extra weight, so if you're going on a long march, you probably would not bring this with you. But if you're sitting around camp for a while or in a fort, it's nice to have to pass the time away. Some various sundries. This could be food. You'd be carrying 1 to 3 days rations of either dried salted meat or fresh beef. A lot of times when you're on the march, the best you can do is fresh, because they have cattle and pig and things like that coming along with you. You'd also have a pound of flour, a pound of dried peas, well, not quite a pound, 8 ounces of dried peas, 8 ounces of rice, things like that per man. I also have my personal items. I've got toothbrush, tooth powder, maybe shoe polish. I have a hussif or a housewife. This is another sewing kit. It's got scissors and thread and extra buttons and anything you might need to patch up your uniform. And getting down to the end here. I have a small lightweight skillet. This is a copper tin lined skillet. Just personal, if I wanted to fry an egg, maybe cook up some meat or something, maybe do some flapjacks. have a small patch knife in case I need a knife on a whim. Cut patches for my musket or anything like that. I also have my eating utensils. Spoon, eating knife, and a fork. And last but not least, I have a small lantern. This, I have a few candles in here, and this actually gets quite bright when you shine up the tin, and it fits nicely in your haversack. It's good for on campaign if you need some light at night. So yes, I believe that is my kit. That's generally what I bring with me when I'm on the march. I might have some extra cordage, either rope or leather straps. That way I can tie up a lean-to, anything that I need to tie up, make a makeshift fire, tripod, anything like that. So that's what I have today. That's my kit and the Virginia Regiment. I will be back shortly to show you some firing demonstrations. Have a good day.